All right, so we're at the end of the summer, and I want to introduce our audience to our intern. We have 2 interns this summer. Ryan, tell us your full name, a little bit about what you're doing right now, and what did you learn this summer, if anything?
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Finbrus. I'm a student, a rising junior at San Diego State University studying finance. Really interested in the wealth management industry, or in that sector of finance particularly. And here interning this summer with second time actually, Robert Schein.
Yeah, the first time we did it during COVID.
That's right.
So it was a virtual intern.
Got it. Right after my senior year of high school, I became an intern. It was great. It was more of a hybrid. First 2 weeks were at home, trying to go through protocols and make sure we're all good to go. And then last 2 weeks were in the office. Got to work along with you and Rick. And this summer, I would say is a big difference from the last summer. Way more immersed, definitely because of being in the office a lot more weeks added to it. And I feel like you've trusted me to giving me bigger assignments. And I feel like you've seen my growth. And I feel like you just feel more confident with giving me more research and exploring more companies.
You've done a fantastic job. Yeah, it's one of those things like anything else. You know, you start off with, okay, try these projects, which I know it's how, you know, I was in this industry since 15 years old, and somebody gave me the opportunity with the door open and say, okay, actually it was my older brother, right? So
awesome.
he was in the industry, and I said, where are you going? He was like, he's 6 years older than I am. So I want to do everything my brother did.
That's awesome.
He totally looked up to him. And so he's like, well, I'm going to go on my first job. He was an intern at the time too. Summer internship. So I'm in high school. He's in college.
Okay.
So I said, I don't want to be home alone in the summer. I said, can I come with you? So I got in the car and literally went to his internship with him and started cold calling. He's like, I go, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I got to cold call like 100 people a day. I'm like, can I do that? So he asked all the bosses, they're like, hey guys, can he do that? They're like, heck yeah.
That's awesome.
So I sat right next to him and I just started learning the business. And back then it was very different than it is today. And what I learned personally was, I've worked for I've had so many internships, right? I've had a lot of advisors that are very successful in our industry, and I had advisors that weren't successful in this industry. And what I learned was someday I could see myself projecting myself forward, sort of big picture stuff. And the commitment I made to myself was, one, I'm always going to give back. So that's why I always have interns, because that's how I started. And I never would have had a love for this industry if I wasn't provided the opportunity. Who's this kid? What's he doing? And people trusted me. And so I always want to, pay it forward as it was paid forward to me, number one. But number two, I also had this mindset of like, if I could start seeing myself in the future and seeing what I can do, I can, by the time I graduate, I already had that, miles behind, on the wheels. And so I can have the confidence. But more importantly, and this is what I'm striving to do, and hopefully you've seen this, is I've learned from people in the industry that I've worked for, had the privilege to, and sometimes not so much, of what to do, like some of the great qualities, some of the great skill sets, some of the things I've learned from great mentors, and what not to do. And sometimes it's more important, like how I was treated, right? If you're treated like shit, or if you're treated like disrespectful, if you're treated like, but I kept coming back, and I kept knowing in my mind, it's part of the entry level to get in this industry, right? It's not going to be roses on one hand. It's going to be crap on the other. And oh, by the way, I'm going to keep showing up as much as you're going to keep giving me stuff that I don't want to do. And so you want to go resilience, you want to go mindset, you want to go with me. And I was younger than, showing up every single day. And what happened is that the guys over here in the industry that were really tough softened up because they realized, oh, they're dealing with somebody who's different. Because part of that is the vetting process. It's completely missed today, right? In the world that we are, because we always have to be like sort of bubble wrapping everything. But when I grew up, no, man, gloves are off. And I've had some guys, I walked in this one advisor's office one day, and he said, get the hell out of here and don't ever come back. And I was I was just trying to like introduce myself. Day one, I wanted to say hi. He told me to F off. And I'm like, you know what? I don't ever have to see you again. Well, actually I had to see him every day. Yeah. But I don't ever have to talk. I mean, it made my life easier, and it's a life lesson, but I also realized I will never be an asshole to someone like that for any reason, not just in our industry, but in life. People just have to be kind and nice. And that guy was not very nice by anybody, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, you just learn. You learn from what to do and what not to do. So my commitment was, hey, listen, someday I'll be able to be in charge, but more importantly, bring in the next generation and say, hey, listen, just, if I can teach you something, great. If I can inspire you, great. What number are you?
What do you mean?
So I always label every single one of our, right? So we've had since 2000 an intern every year. So,
geez.
Yeah, you have 2 numbers, right? So you have you're 24.
Yeah.
But you also were what, 22, 21?
22. Yeah.
So it just makes it easier for us internally when we're talking behind your back. Is it 22? Yeah, that's the one. That's good. So the year that you were there is the number that you're associated with.
Got it.
But no, Ryan, you've been fabulous. I hope you've learned a lot.
I have.
Hope we've given you some trouble. I know you've really, we've trusted you with some things, and you've exceeded expectations, which is really good. Your work your work product is excellent.
Thank you.
It really is.
Appreciate that.
So you'll have a great long career in this industry. So thank you for sharing the summer with us, and thanks for helping us out.
I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hopefully you'll come back.
We'll see.